Okay, here we go. This is where the mission begins. We have made it to Eve's sphere of influence. Let's see if we can see Eve now that we're here. There it is! That little blue, that purple dot right down at the bottom of the screen there, right where the nose cone is currently pointed at. That's Eve. That's a brand new planet. I can't believe we were able to make it with a lunar orbiter. I'm going to quick save right now and see if we can do one final burn. One burn that'll actually plant us right on Eve itself. Now, the gravity... Oh, there we go. Eve Periapsis, 14 meters. It has... I'm sorry, 14 kilometers. It has a much weaker... it has a much stronger gravitational pull and a much stronger atmosphere than Kerbin does, so I don't think we have to get quite as low, but if we aim at that sort of thrust, we should be able to commit to it. Now, that sort of burn calls for 32 seconds of thrust, and I'm a little bit worried that we won't be able to make it with that sort of demand. But we'll see. We'll see if we can pull it off. And if we can't succeed, then I'll try to put us into an orbit, and that'll be fun all in its own right. Alright, well, I see our node. Okay. Alright, Luna 1, you can do it. You can perform this maneuver. So if this idea actually works, then it will turn out that getting to Eve is not nearly as difficult as we really thought. And if that's the case, then that opens up all sorts of doors for missions to this planet. This is amazing. Hold on, I'm going to quick save before anything else happens, and then I'm going to try to do the burn. Okay, 12 minutes. And we only need to burn for 32 seconds. We might have enough fuel to handle that. Two, one. Okay, we're nearly there. Here it comes. Okay, let's go back to our orbital map right here. And full thrust. Here we go. Okay, well, unfortunately, that didn't seem to be enough to put us as low as we had initially wanted. But I've heard that the atmosphere goes really high on Eve, so if we're lucky, that this might actually be enough. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna find out if this is possible by slowly... Oh, we're throttled up right now. We don't need to worry about the throttle anymore now that this has happened to us. So now, I'm not quick saving yet, because I'm going to see if it's possible for us to actually achieve a landing with some other trajectory. I'm not giving up on a landing yet. Look at that. That's Eve, that big purple planet off in the distance. That is so cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our next destination. This is where I'm going to send my next very big projects to. Oh, look at that. Oh no, we're going back up again. I'm going to take a look at my periapse here. Yeah, that wasn't enough. I'm going to go back. Wow! Actually, there we go. We did it! Look at that. If we angled it slightly, by making it so go a little bit to the left, we were able to put ourselves at a low enough periaps, I think, where our periaps marker actually disappeared. What that should imply is that we should get close enough to the atmosphere to actually hit it. But there's only one real way of finding out. We are going to have to actually attempt to perform this maneuver here. So let's slowly, ominously approach this new world. Okay, before we get any closer, I realize that we still have some thrust. We could still possibly make it, maybe if I aimed it. I'm going to try something a little bit funny here. I'm going to perform one more straight up maneuver here. By doing another retro burn. Well, actually, maybe... Yeah, that orbit cuts right through it. Well, you know, it just makes sense. I'm just going to burn on the retrograde like we did when we were trying to land on the, on the moons before. So, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to expend all of our remaining fuel on as much retrograde as I can get at this stage, just to see if I can push us as close to the surface as possible. Well, I'm going to save a little bit more fuel just in case we're not totally there, but it looks like we're actually... Yeah, it looks like that line's intersecting the surface, so we should land based on our current trajectory. Now, the only question remains, are we going to survive the landing? I didn't equip this with any landing lights, unfortunately, so it looks like we're going to land in the dark. That's unfortunate. Is there anything I can do about that? I'm going to try doing one more thrust, just to really bring it home. There. That'll definitely put us on the moon, but in fact it looks like it's going to place us, well, we might get a place that has a little bit of sunlight, actually. So, let's see what happens and where we land. Even if we don't land on the sunlit part of the surface, I'll still be satisfied. Anyway, we're now out of thrust, so I'm just going to, get rid of that. Here we go! An Eve landing! I imagine, by the way, just as a little fun fact, the reason why it's called Eve is because it's, Venus, the real-world Venus, is named after... It also has another name, too, called the Evening Star. Oh yeah, look at that. We are definitely aiming for the surface. At this stage, I might even be able to perform some science. I can do some thermometer work, but we only have one goo experiment left. So I'm going to wait for that until we actually land right on the surface of the planet itself. Okay, here we are. We're poised for a landing. So, first things first, I'm going to jettison this lower stage now, because that stage is now going to be of no use. That stage will probably go on a crash course and eventually land on the surface itself. It looks like we're going to land in the polar region of the planet. That's kind of funny. I'm going to quick save right now because we're doing marvelously here. Oh, wow. We're going into a burn much faster than we ordinarily do. That's pretty impressive. The space music is still playing, too. We are slowing down really fast, approaching the surface at incredible breakneck speeds. I'm gonna set up our landing gear right now. And just to be safe, I am gonna deploy the parachute probably a little early. Oh, wow! Wait a second, are these auroras up here? On the surface of the, There we go. There's our parachute. We've done it, everyone! We're almost there! Let's see, do we still have energy? Alright, we're slowly starting to run out of energy, or electricity, on our lander, because we unfortunately seem to be landing on a dark spot of the planet. I'm going to perform a quick temperature log and transmit this data while we still have energy left on our command pod. I'm going to save the goo experiment for just when we land on the surface. We're getting very close now. I can't believe we can see the auroras from here. This is wonderful. When we get lower than 10 kilometers, I'm going to perform another thermometer experiment very quick. Nope. We need to get lower. Thankfully, since the atmosphere of this planet is actually so heavy, it looks like we're actually slowing down very carefully, and our parachute hasn't even opened yet, so we should be poised for a good landing. And even if we aren't really going to land safely, we'll at least still have the signs that we transmitted. Plus, we will have managed to land at Eve. This is incredible. I can't believe Luna 1 actually made it here. This was a long shot, but it turns out it was actually much easier than I thought it was going to be. In fact, I'm going to quick save right now. There's not much that we can really do at this point. This ship is going to land on its own, and the parachute's going to deploy in a few moments. Okay, I'm going to keep attempting to do temperature scans real quick. While flying at Eve, well, we can't really keep the data, that's no good. There's still 2.5 kilometers. I noticed a moment ago that our debris actually must have just landed now, so technically that was the first landing we've accomplished. But this is the first soft landing. Soft landings, as you might be able to tell, are basically landings that are soft, where you don't crash into something very hard, but you instead land safely. Flying at Eve, that's still no new data. I wish we had landing lights right now. Unfortunately, we appear to be running out of electricity quite quickly, and I don't know how often the poles receive electrical power. Okay, here we go. We're poised for a landing. Please open parachute, please open. Yes! Yes! And we're only falling at 3.2 meters. That's survivable. We've done it. And we should have just enough energy within the Luna pod to perform one final landing. Let's actually speed things up just a little bit here, just so that we have a good landing. Actually, real quick before anything else happens, I'm going to save. I'm going to quick save. And the surface looks nice and flat too, so there's no real risk of rolling or anything. I can't believe how well this turned out. Okay, we're very close to the poles now, so real quick I'm just going to try to do another temperature log. It still counts us as flying, huh? Maybe we have to get even lower. I wonder what biome this is. I do see auroras, so I want to say that we've landed at the pole. Actually, no. This is the wrong time to leave here, because we're about to land. We'll be able to tell what stage we're in after we land. Electrical charge. Our Sputnik has a little... not Sputnik, of course. Our Luna 1 has a little bit over half of its remaining charge. Now, some of that was spent trying to transmit their temperature data, admittedly. Look at that. Those are sand dunes down there. Here it comes. This worked wonderfully. I was really hoping this would work. I am so thrilled that this works. Here we go. We did it! We landed on the surface. We made it to Eve. Eve's surface. Huh, we're not at the poles. Interesting. Oh, look at that. We have our electrical energy back. Wait, we still have sunlight up here? Oh, who cares? Quickly, let's perform science before we run out of energy. The goo experiment will only give us 24 science, but let's transmit it anyway. There we go! Our first report from the surface of the planet. How much energy do we have left? Oh, we're actually gaining energy, believe it or not. Let's do a thermometer experiment to log the temperature to give us an additional 32 science. That might be enough to get us to the next, to get us one final thing in the technology tree. There we go. Wait, do I have another mystery goo experiment here? I do! Oh, I should have done that from our upper height. You know what? Maybe it's not too late. I'm gonna go back to our quick save. Yeah, we totally can do this. Oh no. Oh no, the parachute won't deploy. What's wrong? Oh my god. Did I just do something horrible? Did the Luna 1 not land properly? Oh, that's gonna make me so mad if that didn't work. Oh, thank god. Okay, I was terrified that that didn't work. You know what? I'm willing to lose a little bit of science if we just have a safe landing at Luna. Let's do this real quick. Oh my god. I can't believe what a close call that was. Okay. Whatever, we did it. We have done all the science that we can with the Luna lander. And in fact, it's still receiving power. Let's quick save before anything else happens to us. So, the Luna 1 is now inoperative. It's going to stay here forever. But that was our first landing. Oh, that was wonderful. Everyone, real quick, I'm going to go back to our space center. Actually, you know what? Before we go back, there's one more thing I want to do with Luna 1. I want to rename it. In honor of its successful landing, I'm going to name it the Luna 1 slash Venera. Venera is the name of the Soviet Union's landing missions to Venus. They were the first successful ones, and instead of having it be a probe, I'm going to turn it into a lander. So, this is our first official planetary lander of the game, everyone. We did it. And think of what will happen when we send more missions here. Think of the science boost that we'll get. Okay. With that in mind, we leave the Luna 1 Venera probe to its very peaceful, well-deserved rest. We now have enough science to give ourselves one more technology. And I'm going to give ourselves the Advanced Metalworks, because that'll give us our docking pieces. Now, docking is important. I mentioned earlier that I was going to explain what the docking meant, the Clampatron Juniors. Docking, if you are able to put docking pieces on your spaceships, that means that while you're in flight, you can dock one spaceship into another one, and that will combine the two to make a brand new spaceship. That is how you make very, very big spaceships in orbit or in space. That's how you build space stations. That's how you build massive projects. That is how you build a space station, and that's what's going to get us to build our jewel space station city that we want to do to complete the game, or complete my version of the game. So we are done with that, and very excitedly, very happily, you don't even know, guys, this is the end of our adventure here. In the next episodes to follow, we'll begin making serious missions towards the planet Eve. Until then, this is Ardwick. Stay tuned, and good night.